So the third thing is, if you're first starting out and you're doing flips, do you know someone who can help you? And what I mean by this is someone you know who has already done this before. Somebody that you may be able to pay as a mentor, somebody that maybe you can bring as a partner. It's such a good idea. So when I first started investing in real estate, I paid for a mentor. And so I paid a mentor who held my hand and walked me through transactions until I felt comfortable without doing it without a mentor. And there's so many scenarios that can pop up in the buying process, in the renovation process, in the sell process that you don't know, right? And so by hiring a mentor, for me, it gave me the ability to find somebody who could prep me for what was potentially a scenario that would come. And maybe it would, maybe it wouldn't, but now I'm learning ahead of time, and I'm learning with somebody who's done this before versus going through it myself. So you could pay a mentor. Now, I know a lot of people that will just find a phenomenal deal, take it to a partner, and I should say take it to an individual who has done this before and propose to them to be a partner. And by proposing to them to be a partner, then this individual will come, with something to the table. Maybe it's knowledge and money, maybe it's knowledge and power team, maybe it's a bunch of stuff. But if that partner comes, then you're likely to make as many mistakes on your first go-round, and you're able to shadow this individual who's done it before, and that's another phenomenal way to learn. So if you don't know somebody who can help you or to partner up with, it can still be done. There's no question that you can't go in and figure this out. But my recommendation would be definitely to seek out some of these education programs. You do your due diligence on each education program. Some are better than others. Not all of them are created equal. But there are some good education programs out there. I have several friends that have their own education program. One's an attorney, one's a fix and flipper, landlord. Lender, hard money lender, traditional lender, property manager. He does everything. And he's been on my show a couple times. Matt Atkinson and Jeff Brailio, those two individuals, both have been on my show. Actually, both have been on my show twice. They both have their own education programs. So I would suggest that, whether your education is local. The reason why I mentioned those two individuals is because they're local to Salt Lake. But there's national education programs. In fact, I'm a national public speaker for two national education programs. There's an education program based out of Chicago and one out of Canada that will basically contract me to speak on stage to educate their audience all over the U.S. And so I personally will fly on behalf and speak with the owners of these companies and do national education. So there's all sorts of education available out there. There's also tons of free education online, as you know, YouTube. But I usually prefer, and I'll give you an example. If my sister came to me and said, should I learn from YouTube and the internet, or should I pay somebody a large chunk of cash to be my mentor or learn from YouTube for free, I would probably suggest, I would suggest both. Get as much education as you can on YouTube, but there's so much value in that person that you're going to pay, assuming they're experienced, because you can actually call them up with questions. As you have questions, you can definitely call them up and see what their opinion is on those particular scenarios, where that's a little bit more tricky in the internet. Sure, you can Google questions, but the answer may not be answered specific to your scenario. With real estate, there are so many scenarios that can happen in one situation that you may find one answer on YouTube to that situation, but there could be 10 others that you're not going to hear about unless you speak with an individual who's had a lot of experience and probably experienced all those 10 situations. Okay, so definitely consider getting educated or partnering, however you want to do it. For example, if you have the funds, pay a mentor. It's typically cheaper to pay a mentor than split the profit with a partner 50-50. You're probably going to pay a mentor a lot less than half of your profit on a flip. However, if you don't have the cash to pay a mentor, then that's where it's a great negotiation tool to be able to say, hey, Mr. Mentor, I'm bringing an opportunity to you. I have this property under contract. I can't pay you, but would you want to be partners and we'd split it 50-50? Then hypothetically you are paying them just on the back end. You're paying them once you sell the property opposed to paying them up front. So a great way to get started. I would say definitely consider that. All right, so we're going to go over one more question, a bonus question of, I talked about the top three. Really, this is the fourth. But we're going to go over that. This question is huge. This is something that you're definitely not going to want to miss because it is very big. I've gone through this question myself. And so we're going to go through this question once we get back here from a commercial break. So stay tuned. We're going to cut to commercial right now. With smartphones and technology making life a little easier, the Snap Leash has also been designed to make life a little easier for you and your pup. Whether you're out on a stroll in the park, or possibly a walk through the city, or maybe even a hike up in the mountains, the Snap Leash is the perfect leash for you. The Snap Leash can easily and conveniently convert into 7 types of leashes, making the Snap Leash the most convenient leash in the world. What other leash do you know that is 7 leashes in one? With the Snap Leash having appearances on the Today Show in New York City, TV 47 in Dallas, Texas, and ABC 4 on Midday, Utah, you are definitely going to want to take a peek at what the Snap Leash can do for you and your best friend. Make life a little easier for you and your pup and visit www.snapleash.com today.